Hi, Mike. It's nice to see you.
Hello, Dan. Good to see you again as well. Thanks very much for having me here.
Yeah, thank you. And I know we want to talk about social media today. I know we want to sort of get into a lot of stuff, but I'm just curious. I mean, how long have you been working in social media?
Oh, since its inception, really, as a database marketer, direct marketer, marketing guy who's been in the travel industry for 35, 36 years, social media came along, I guess, in the early 2000s and started working with it then, trying to figure out
Yeah.
what role is it going to play and how are we going to, execute and implement it.
I mean, when it started to come around in the early 2000s, what did it seem extremely significant to you? Did it seem like it would have the impact that it's had over the past couple decades?
Well, it seemed massive to me. As I mentioned, as a direct marketing strategy, as we all know, I mean, business is about you've got to generate a sale and you got to generate in order to generate a revenue. And the only way I've ever been able to figure that out is to do marketing.
Yeah.
And it's all about return on investment from a marketing perspective. So if I buy a TV ad, cost me $2,000 for one ad, how many people are going to call me? Well,
Yeah.
direct marketing particularly in the travel industry, in my opinion, has always been the greatest return on investment. So it's about databases. So, in the 80s and 90s, it was all direct mail. And in the mid 90s, we read about this thing called the internet and email.
Yeah.
Well, we started building technology in the mid 90s to take advantage of that, which really turned out into the year 2000, 2001, that took off. So, we were still doing direct mail and direct email, which is the technology. And then in the early, it was like 2004, 2005, I saw this thing called Facebook. And I went, oh my gosh, every single human being is going to start building these massive databases. And it's really database. So we've gone from print to email to social media, but it's all direct marketing. 2005 was really when I started going, how's this going to play? Just like in 1994, when I read a book on one-to-one marketing, which was email, we started going down that path.
Yeah, it is crazy thinking back to Facebook's inception and now it being one of the most powerful American companies. It is kind of crazy the growth it's had. Yeah, so you've done a lot of marketing, and again, you mentioned your social media influences as well. I'm curious from your point of view, do you have an opinion on what the most effective form of social media is now, particularly for travel advisors who I know have limited time and want to be as efficient as possible when they're working?
There's so many choices, and I think it really boils down to is who's your target market? Who are you going after? All social media do different things. Like if you look at, so the largest segment for travel, for people who are buying travel, okay, is Facebook. So, all of our kids started on Facebook and now they're on TikTok. Well, my kids are not buying cruises. They might influence me to buy a cruise, but they're not buying it. And I'm not saying TikTok's not good, but all the grandparents and parents are now on Facebook. As the kids have left Facebook, the people who are buying travel are on Facebook. Okay. Instagram as well. So Instagram is a wider segment. So each social media has different demographics and psychographics. So, if you've got $1 million to spend in marketing in a month, great, you can look at all of them. But if you got $500, you better pick the biggest one. And that is Facebook. Facebook
Yeah.
is by far the largest social media for people who are actually buying package vacations or the types of vacations that a travel advisor will sell. Because
Yeah.
at the end of the day, a travel advisor, it will always be required as long as there's complicated travel to buy. We'll all buy our airline tickets, our hotel, ourselves, but we're not buying an African safari. We're not buying a cruise. We're not buying a complex travel product unless we're talking to an advisor. So advisors are always going to be required.
Just hearing that, are you anticipating, or do you have any thoughts on how this is going to change when the decision makers change by generation? Like when these decisions get passed off from the head of the household to maybe their children in 10 or 20 years. Do you think the role of social media is going to change in when it comes to which platform is the best to target?
Yeah, I think it'll change. It'll morph. I mean, some of these social media platforms won't even be here, and others will
Yeah.
take its place. Like when did you hear about TikTok? You know, Facebook's been around for what, 18, 19 years now? And everybody's talking TikTok. So I think it will morph. I also think, young, at the end of the day, it's who's got the wallet. So is mom influencing? I mean, is the child influencing mom, who's typically the decision maker, to purchase the vacation? Sure, that can happen. And technology is going to play a big role. Where and how, I don't know. But as we all know, technology continues to play a big role in all of our lives.
Just going back to that efficiency question too, and I know this is a question I've heard from advisors a number of times. How much time should advisors be dedicating to social media on a weekly basis, for instance? Because I know there can theoretically be an endless amount of time you can put into it.
This is the $1 million question. Because it's really social media or marketing. Okay. Like, I mean, how much time should you spend creating ads, or how much time should you spend selling to customers? Well, does creating ads generate revenue? No, it's an expense. Does selling generate revenue? Yes. So do you want to be creative, or do you want to be making sales and whatever? So you can do it yourself. I mean, if you're going to do it yourself, and you should should you spend your time in social media building your database and have somebody else doing the creative and the content and pushing that onto your site? Or should you be creating content? It's like, what do you want to be doing? So, I mean, in the ideal world, you should be spending very little time, in my opinion, like maybe taking pictures and on your own vacations, posting those. But, like, should you be building technology that creates an Excel spreadsheet? No, use Excel. We're in the business of selling travel. So sell travel. Partner with technology companies that provide turnkey solutions at a very affordable rate for you. So, you do what you do and let them do what they do. And together, you're solving the problem or the puzzle for the consumer, which ultimately, at the end of the day, wants to go away on a dream vacation.
So I want to go back to that social media sort of theory point out that we just spoke about too. It seems as though when you talk about marketing on social media, the travel industry seems just to be such a perfect fit. And I'm curious if you have an opinion on that. I mean, why did travel and Facebook or any other social media really go hand in hand when it comes to the effectiveness of social media marketing?
Well, one is speed. So speed to market. So you can get timely promotional messages out very, very quickly. You can reach very, very large databases, large groups of people. So even if you take, where's this going? So for instance, when I was selling travel, I started selling travel in the 80s and 90s, before I really started building systems to help and building tools to help travel advisors be more successful. It's about how much can you accomplish in a short period of time and how many people can you reach. So social media provides us that opportunity. In particular, we used to have this thing called a Pied Piper, where we would get somebody who would go and find a whole bunch of people who wanted to go on a trip. They'd collect the checks, they'd bring them in, and we'd put it in. Today, social media does that. So imagine there's influencers. There are more influencers in North America than there are all travel advisors. And they all have databases. An influencer is somebody who has more than 10,000 people. And most of them have, hundreds of thousands of people. So, but they need someone to handle the fulfillment. So you get an influencer and you get them, okay, pick the trip you want to go on. And we're going to provide the marketing material to go out to your 100,000 people to join you on this cruise. And I'll handle all the sales. And you're going to go free. And I'll give you 20% of the commission. Okay, there's social media. This is where you can hit large, and this is all coming down. This is all, happening now. This is starting to happen. And this is where the travel advisors in a beautiful position to, one, grow their databases, social media databases, whether it be LinkedIn, which you want to target with a business message, Facebook, which you can hit with everything, Instagram with your own personal messages. So, you want to just, at the end of the day, how big is your Facebook database? Or how big are your customers' Facebook databases? Then you could invite their friends and family to go with them on the trip, which you are going to be the service provider for. Managing, getting them the information and getting everything to them. But instead of selling one at a time, you can be selling 100 at a time. And social media allows us to do that.
So I know we're running out of time, but I don't want to let you go without asking me about BrandShop. I know there's a ton of advisor users now, and there's a lot of non-users too. You just want to talk us through, I mean, anything that's new, anything you want advisors, whether they're using BrandShop now or not, to know about the platform as we head into, the last quarter of 2023.
Yeah, well, we're just approaching, so we're just about at 40,000 advisors are using our platform. So I think that says a lot. I think that's a testament to the service that we're providing, which of course is a free service to travel advisors. And we believe that it should be that way. And the reason why is that they provide a huge value to every travel supplier. And so travel suppliers they want to get to a travel advisor's customer, and they will pay for it. And that's our model. So as people join us, and we provide turnkey technology, particularly social media, but also email and anything direct marketing, turnkey direct marketing services. That's what we provide free to travel advisors, and education. And what we really do is we work with the suppliers to create the content, educate the travel advisor over what the latest promotion is for that particular supplier. So let's say Royal Caribbean, Royal Caribbean's got a brand new special coming out. Travel advisors don't know. So we send that out to the advisor. The advisor sees what's coming, and we say, okay, we're about to send this to all your customers and all your social media platforms. And if you've got email, we'll send it to your email customers as well. So it's all created. So you get educated and you get told about it before it goes out to your customer. And your customer sees it, they call you, you know what's happening. So a supplier is happy to pay, because that's the greatest return on investment they can get within the trade channel. So it's really a win-win-win, supplier, advisor, customer.
Yeah, and it is nice to hear. Again, anytime an advisor is valued in this sort of chain of booking, it's always nice to hear. But Mike, thank you for your time. I know hearing your opinion is always a pleasure for me. So it was really nice to hear sort of your thoughts on social media going forward.
Thanks very much, Dan. Appreciate it. Good to see you again. Really appreciate the opportunity here.
All right, take care,
everybody.